know what's interesting about a dental chair? Nobody lies in it. The moment you sit down, something shifts. The small talk stops, the walls come down, and people start telling you things they've never told anyone. Their fears, their regrets, their dreams, their secrets. I've heard it all. My name is Adriana Cappelli. I am the VP and COO of Cappelli Dental in Hillsdale, New Jersey. And for the last 3 years, I've had a front row seat to some of the most real and remarkable human moments I've ever witnessed. This podcast is where the stories live. Confessions at the Dental Chair, where we talk about life, business, love, loss, and everything in between. Because the most honest conversations happen when you are leaning back, staring at the ceiling, and you realize you have nowhere else to go. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Let's begin. Oh, it's an honor to have you here. As I say, you've been a patient of my husband, Dr. Christopher Cappelli, for the past 14 years. You have trusted us, your family, your beautiful wife, your 2 beautiful daughters, your father. So this is an honor to have you. As I say, you're a very interesting man, and this is going to be like a special space for our patients to share their story. And what a best and better person to start the podcast with you.
I'm honored.
Thank you, Buddy. Thank you so much. So everything started back in Bergen County, and from there you moved into Hofstra University, where you became a journalist, and from there you became a writer for Marvel. Everybody knows that this is the most famous comic magazine in the entire world, and you had the honor and privilege to write for them. So can you please expand on that a little bit? What did you do there?
Yeah, I grew up as a lifelong comic book fan, and I made it one of my goals to be able to work for Marvel Comics. And I did everything that I possibly could, and I used my platform as a journalist to open doors. You know, as a journalist, you can talk to anybody, and eventually you start to create opportunities. And one day I had the opportunity, and I met the editor, pitched the editor an idea, and the editor said, sure, write it. And then once you're in the door, you just never leave. You just keep on trying. So one thing led to the next thing, led to the next thing, and you just have a career that you dreamed of, and you get to see your name in a Marvel comic.
Community college to Hofstra to Marvel. Did you always know where you were going?
Oh,
no.
No.
You know?
No, I started off in electrical engineering,
okay,
and then discovered journalism, and then discovered technology. I would say that my career path has been one of interest and opportunity, and just happened to be there when the birth of the internet was coming out. Taught myself how to code and just followed the path. So I think for a lot of people who are exploring their careers, you should be flexible. Stay true to what's important to you, but be flexible.
Be flexible. Be open to learn new things.
Open to learn new things.
Love that.
I will say one thing. One important thing that I've learned in my career: run towards something. Don't run away from something.
And so what was the first book that you were able to write for them?
So I did a couple of fill-in issues here and there, but the first notable comic book was Deadpool.
Correct.
So that was a lot of fun. So I had done a couple of small piecemeal things that they assigned me to do. I guess I did okay. And then I got the opportunity to write the Deadpool series with a friend of mine, and we had a great time.
Deadpool was dying. The book was about to be canceled, and you turned things around, and you made it very successful. So what did you have to do? What was the strategy that you did in order to bring that character back to life?
So we did some discovery. We realized that there was a lot of different people telling Deadpool stories, but there was, as a result, a lot of inconsistencies. So what we settled on was one way of telling a Deadpool story, and streamlined that and made it a very consistent voice for the character. And people like that. They enjoyed the fact that they could depend on 2 writers to tell stories that had continuity and kept things moving. And that helped. And the sales went up, and Deadpool continued.
So for how long were you at Marvel?
Oh my goodness, I've written for Marvel for 20 plus years, and occasionally we'll write a pickup story here and there. I like most people, was just a freelancer for Marvel. So I had a regular career, and this was just a side hustle that I did as a writer, and it was a lot of fun.
Do you think Deadpool is you? Is a reflection of your personality? In a way? Because I see a lot of familiarity there.
Well, thank you. I think anybody who writes Deadpool has to have a little bit of Deadpool Wade Wilson inside of them to make it work. So we all kind of have a little bit of Deadpool in us.
Okay.
So if you want to write Deadpool, you have to have a little bit of Deadpool in you. So yeah, I think we all do. But I think that's what's attractive about the character. We all are either a little bit Deadpool or know somebody a little bit Deadpool, which is what makes it fun.
There you transition into pharmaceutical marketing. What is the connection between comics and pharmaceutical marketing? How do you connect those two things together?
Well, comic books, despite the creativity, is a very structured medium. We have an exact page count, we have an exact page size, and in a lot of ways it's very mathematical. When we say we have 20 pages per month to write a story, an average story is about 6 issues, you have to start thinking about structure. I was attracted to the technology side of marketing, and I got into MarTech, and I really liked the structure. I got into building websites when I was at Wizard, and then databases when I was at Merck Medco. So what I really was attracted to was the structure and the framework, and that's where I continued my career. So there is a lot of parallels between comics and marketing, which is visual storytelling. Every day I would tell visual stories on a page, and then every day I would tell visual stories on a web page. There's a lot of familiarity and commonalities between the mediums. And if you just sort of think about how we have to think and communicate in pictures, that's where you begin to say, oh, the things that I've learned in comic books, I can apply to building websites.
What do most brands get wrong about storytelling?
Most brands get wrong about storytelling. That's a great question. They think that their story matters. Really, a brand is just a character in a person's story. And they write these blog posts or make these announcements about how they're supporting this cause and doing something else. Really, at the end of the day, when I get on an airplane, I don't care about anything that you've said from your CEO. I just want to get on the plane and go. That's the only story that matters. So brands need to understand that they are simply a character or a plot point in the story. And once I get on that plane and then I get off that plane, I've forgotten about the airline until the next time I have to get on an airplane. So brands really have to make it about their customers and what's important to them.
So you have worked for one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world, Johnson & Johnson, and Novartis, AstraZeneca, Bayer. What do you think they all have in common?
Having worked for a lot of pharmaceutical companies, I did the service side on the agency side, and now I'm on the manufacturer side. I think everybody that works in pharma wants to make a difference.
Okay.
We all want to find a way to bring life-saving medicines to improve people's lives, to patients.
Correct.
And it's something you do because you're passionate about. We can use these technology skills in almost any company and in any industry. What I found about people that work in pharma, including myself, is we have a passion for helping people with their health. And we are all part of a large ecosystem, me on the digital and technical side, all the way to the prescriber. There is a complete ecosystem, and it's a passion for helping people to improve their lives through their health. And that's what I found. I found that there's a lot of really motivated people who want to be here because they believe in the mission of helping people care for themselves and bring life-saving medicines.
You've worked for IBM, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson. What do the best ones have in common?
What do they have in common? They are focused. They have a single voice and a narrative, and they're clear about how they solve a problem for their customers. So when I go to the store to buy something or some technology to improve my life, I'm going to a brand that has focused on what's important to me, and I'm looking how it fills my needs. So those brands that you named all are focused on solving a problem. They're not trying to be everything to everybody. They're trying to solve a problem.
What is the piece of advice that you will give to anybody that is starting their career and how to succeed right now? What is, if you can help them to jump years ahead of them?
I would say focus.
Focus.
Focus. You can do everything and you can have everything, but just not all at the same time. Find one thing, become really good at that one thing, and then build upon that. But if you distribute your energy to too many places, you won't be good at anything. So focus is the most important thing for people early, mid, and late in your career.
Bigfoot School, what made you want to teach this?
I saw the opportunity to utilize my journalistic school. I saw this as an opportunity to utilize my journalistic skills. So I don't consider myself much of a teacher. I consider myself a journalist who draws the story out of other creators to understand what they know about creating comics. Of course, I speak to them as a peer because I'm also a comic book creator. So the conversations happen at a level where we're able to get in depth and get past the surface level. So as a journalist, I like to dig deep, understand how other creators tell stories so that my students can grow, expand, and tell better, more effective comic book stories.
Okay, so where can they find you in the social media? So,
you can find me. You find me everywhere at Comic Book School, on website, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You'll find me everywhere at Comic Book School.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This was awesome.